Dude, I even did this on time, and I'm still not ready. Hang on. Here we go. All right. Okay. There we go. All right. Welcome to South Texas Football Unlimited, the Coastal Bend's first original high school football podcast webcast.
Show.
How you guys doing? Wow, we got 14 people in the room already.
Pretty quick.
Oh man. So it's when did we did early last week, right? Because we did a daytime show, so it wasn't last Wednesday.
No, we did a
Monday.
nighttime show. Remember we? Yeah. We did a nighttime show.
We did early, right? Like Monday or something. I don't know. So hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. First off, we want to clarify something. We did not use a deep fryer in our kitchen. That was a meme, and we were trolling as it went on. People actually thought that was one of our kitchens, which I thought was the funniest. Yes, dude. Like one guy thought we were idiots because he was like, make sure you defrosted it at least before you put it in. I'm like, well, duh. You think we're dumb? And he's like, well, yeah, I think you're idiots. You got your fryer in the living room or the kitchen, wherever it was. Oh man. Yeah, dude, it's been a wild week. So we've been bowed up at work. We missed all the playoff games last week. We're probably going to miss most of them this week.
Except the big one.
Except one, right? Except the big one at Buck.
So workload, man. We're stuck working.
Yeah, dude. And I think if anything, I mean, the next games we'll be able to go to after this one is state. Maybe if we get a team that makes it that far.
No, we could go to round 5. We're off for that.
Are we? Next week?
We would go back to nights.
No, dude, we'll be on. Yeah, so.
Well, I mean, Rafiro Notorious plays Thursday, so.
Oh yeah, if.
So you'd probably be able to make the Thursday game if we had a Thursday game.
Yeah, if they get past this week, man. But everybody's short right now. Cave's gone, right? He's gone for 8 weeks, so I mean that slims down our overtime. So there's not a chance of us getting. Well, I could get forced on my side, so we'll see what happens. Oh, dude, I've been up since midnight this morning, whatever. I went to bed, dude. Coming off nights, so we came off nights. I came off nights. Yes,
you were coming off nights, and I was going back to days.
Yeah, so I got off. The guys, we've got some new gear here. I don't know if you caught it, Justin, right there, my beanie.
That's clean.
My wife went and got me a beanie made. So I have to wear. I don't know if you guys have noticed. It's like not freezing in my house right now, but I have to wear something on my head because my head is shiny on the camera. Like there's a big time glare, dude. Like Mr. Clean glare, even when it's like stubbly, dude. So I've got to wear something on my head right now. So anytime I'm on camera, and I also got some lighting because my wife said that I'm too dark on the screen. So
I started saying you look brighter today.
Yeah. So went back to the gym.
White shirt and the new hat.
Yeah. I went back to the gym finally. Dude, I'm hurting right now. It's not feeling too good right now.
It's been a while since you've been CrossFit mode.
Dude, because of work, man. It's like, dude, I get off late and I can't make the night sessions. I guess I could go by myself, but I do better in a group setting.
She's laughing. She's laughing because you turned into one of the CrossFit people. Is that what happened here?
Yeah. Anyways, what were we talking about? So I've been up since midnight. I think I fell asleep for about an hour during the day today. So I'm hurting right now. So I should sleep well. Get a good night's sleep before tomorrow. So we work back on shift tomorrow. We're gonna miss a few games. We're gonna miss the Cal Allen Bernie game. There was a chance we could have made the out and back, but my daughter's got UIL on Saturday morning, so that's a no-go for me. Especially since we got to work Saturday morning. That would have been home by like midnight, and then turn around.
I've done it before. I just, the difference is last time I was working the board, right? So that's a lot easier. I come dressed, leave, you know what I mean, like and leave, and then it's just a lot different whenever you're working outside. It's honestly like hell.
Yeah. Sometimes it's better though. Sometimes it's better. So, man, we are going to kind of fly by the seat of our pants today, just like Justin said. We've been busy with work, so we hadn't really had a whole time to outline the show this week, and it's kind of been fly by the wheels right now because of our regular show segments. They're gone now, right? With the playoffs coming up, a lot of the stuff's gone. Helmet stickers are gone. Player of the week is gone. And just recaps and stuff, recaps and games to look forward to. That's slimmed down to like, what do we got? 3 teams left, right? Refugio Bluff, Vets, and who's the 4th? Oh, Cal Allen.
Come on, man.
Yeah, Cal Allen.
Yeah. God.
Oh, I know. So with that, I mean, what do you want to talk about first? What do you want to jump into?
I mean, honestly, we kind of there's nothing really we can write on paper anymore about these teams. We pretty much know what we got. You know what I mean? At least we should. Oh yeah, there she is. Yo, you're in trouble.
Just trying to get that top fan badge.
So I guess we could start off with the big boys, right? The game that we're gonna. Well, we can save that for last. The game that we'll go to, because that's you got the Valley connections, and then we're going there. So I guess you can start off with the Cal or Bluff and Liberty Hill. I think a lot of people, when you talk about this game, or at least when I've been asked about this game, my first thing I like to tell people is, I think that the Bluff's not getting a fair shake here. I think at this point, everyone has probably seen me tweet out Coastal Bend versus everyone, so it's pretty apparent. If you couldn't tell with the maroon and the Refugio cap, who I'm picking this week, right? So I think if you look at the Bluff team from a whole standpoint, they actually match up pretty well with Liberty Hill. I think going forward, having a kid like Jaden Paliseo as your quarterback who can maneuver the pocket and use his feet to bust plays open, that's going to keep Liberty Hill a little honest. And the thing about keeping him honest is, for me, that opens up a guy like I'm drawing blanks. Oh no, I'm sorry, Wyatt. Wyatt Elwood's been one of my favorite players this whole entire time. Since last year, his dad's the defensive coordinator, so he's got that like football IQ, right? He's grown up around football. He knows what to do. I've seen him play numerous times. He finds space. They use him. You'll notice they put him all over the field. He goes from playing cornerback to safety to he plays slot receiver, outside receiver. He even lines up a tight end sometimes to offset, kind of where they're gonna who he's gonna match up with. So I think it opens a guy up like him. Running the ball, the Bluffs had a slew of runners. So, that's kind of also hard to key in on, because you're not just focusing on one guy. You got a couple guys back there that can run the ball. And then to me, the big boy up front, Shaw, number 53. I think that's his name, Dylan, right? Maybe. I'm probably I might be getting it wrong, but he's been around for a while, and he's going to anchor that offensive line. And then, honestly, the Bluffs got a pretty stout and good-sized offensive line to hide Paliseo behind. So, you put those things into context, and then the key ingredient for me as well is our boy, I'm drawing a blank on his name. Dickinson, Cameron. Dude, he's a burner.
Dude, he's coming to his own.
So if Liberty Hill, they're going to have to match probably their fastest speed guy up against him, right? Because if not, he can take the top off fast. And Paliseo showed that he can hit him on the fly really well. He's got a pretty accurate arm. So that, to me, right there, gives Bluff a fighting chance. Just the talent they got on the field, the size they got on the field offensively, and the speed. And then I'm going to catch some shade for this one. I know his number is number 19 or 18. He's also a receiver. He's the kid that made the interception against Portland, and he also had tons of catches to keep that game going for the Bluff. He's also a really good receiver. So you got 3 heads out there that can catch the ball and move for the Bluff. Good offensive line, good quarterback, young team. So there's going to be some inexperience there. But some of the main players are coming back off the team that went all the way to round 5 last year. So that's huge in the experience category. And then if you look at them defensively, I think, they have the size and speed to kind of help contain that attack that Liberty Hill brings, the nasty slot. Which, if you're not familiar with it, it's a shame, because the way Liberty Hill runs it is almost to perfection. I mean, they get up there and they move the ball so quick. I mean, it's literally 1 second down and they're snapped and they're moving. So that, to me, that right there is the biggest challenge. It's hard to prepare for a team that runs the slot, because there's a lot of hiding the ball and moving it, and they're going to keep attacking you 3-4 yards at a time, and until they bust one off, which Liberty Hill's mean, they've made a living doing that. They won a state championship doing that. So, you win a state championship with the slot T in nowadays football. That's something. So,
Hey,
I think a lot of
week
people
last week against Alamo Heights. I mean, if you watch that game, that's
20
exactly what
seconds,
they
right?
did. Yes, they were scoring fast, man, and then they
Yeah.
did the same thing with Sock last year in the state championship game.
Yes.
I mean, it's not 3 yards and a cloud of dust with that offense. I mean, they can get big chunk yards with that. So it's gonna be something, man. They the mutual opponent that they've had is never mind. That's the wrong game I'm thinking of. Never mind. Keep
Lockhart.
going.
No, it's Lockhart.
Oh, was it? Oh, that's right. They were in
They
the
have
same
a
district.
mutual opponent in Lockhart, and don't they have a mutual opponent in San Antonio Veterans Memorial?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how Liberty Hill fared against Veterans Memorial, but I know against Lockhart, it was very similar to the Bluff score, which, you can take that with a grain of salt, but it should give you kind of a general idea of what to expect. So I think very well the Bluff has a fighting chance here. I wouldn't just write them off because, it's Liberty Hill and they're ranked in state and all that. I mean, Liberty Hill was down to Alamo Heights at one point. Alamo Heights is set up the same way, Flower Bluff is set up. So the to score on Liberty Hill, it's there. The possibility is there. Flower Bluff's going to obviously play a really good game. And I think they have enough sound and solid coaching as well that's going to keep them in that game. So, I'm rocking with the Bluff in that one. And, it'd be nice to see him get it done.
Yeah, I don't think this is I'm not taking anything away from Liberty Hill, but this isn't last year's Liberty Hill team or the last couple of years. I think that as far as Liberty Hill goes, it's a down year. I guess I don't. It's probably the wrong word to use because it's not really a down year, but it's not their typical team.
Well, see, I actually talked to someone who's got a cousin in Liberty Hill, and they said they think this might be one of the better teams yet.
Really?
Yes, and that's up there with the team that won state. Like, dead serious.
Yeah.
I don't know how much to take that from him. He played there. The kid's cousin, or my buddy's cousin, did, but
yeah,
they are pretty stacked with this team. I wouldn't say that they're having it might not be the best team of all time they've ever had, but I think they're pretty stout, dude. I mean,
we'll see. I guess, right? And this one, to me, it's a coin toss, dude. I'd like to see Flower Bluff win. I'd like to see them come back and repeat as the region champs. I just know it's going to be a good game, and it's going to be streamed for free. If you guys haven't seen it yet, right? So the Flower Bluff Sports Information Department will be streaming this game for free on their YouTube channel. If you guys hadn't had a chance to watch a game that's been put on by that sports department, those kids get very excited.
They do.
They've got a couple quick highlights from the last couple of games, and they get real excited about it. It's a real good one. I watched that fourth quarter against Mission Vet or San Antonio Vets, and dude, they just flexed, man. It was pretty tight in that first half, and let's see, there you go. Liberty Hill's a year away from maybe their best team ever. So last year or the year before, is that the state team, David, that you're saying was probably their best team?
He's saying I think they're a year away, as in next year's probably their best team ever.
Well, yeah, David, clarify that for us. Is it a year away? Like next year will be their best team ever? But yeah, man, they looked very good in that second half. Next year, okay. Next year, oh man, what was I going to say? So last week against San Antonio Vets, I mean, they put on a clinic in the second half, dude. And it was like score after score after score. They were getting turnovers. They just played I hadn't seen them play that well all year. The only game I actually got to see eyes on them was the Cal Allen game, and they were still kind of trying to put it together.
They're pretty young. Right? They were pretty young when they played Cal. I mean, they're still young, but at the time they've
grown up a lot. I mean, they're young, but they've grown up a lot during the season. Yeah, and they're probably playing their best football right now. I'd like to see them win. I hope they come home with a win. But again, it will be free. Go to Flower Bluff's YouTube channel. It'll be there for free. A lot of folks have been asking, "Hey, well, how can we how are they getting past NFHS and Texan Live?" It's a school district production,
so they can
do it. They do it for free. They don't have to pay rights, which should be. It should be that way, right? Why is a school district going to have to pay to showcase their own players, to fill their own stuff? Yeah. If I'd call major foul if they had to pay for that kind of stuff. I mean, that would tell you right there that the UIL is all about the cash in that case, right?
For sure.
I mean, yeah. So, and a lot of folks are upset about it. They paid for their NFHS subscription. I haven't paid for one yet. I've been able to watch all the games I wanted to free because these school districts are putting it on. So right now I still got the record going. Have not subscribed yet this season.
I have.
And then the Cuero game's also going to be on there for free at NRG against Silsby. And that's going to be a good game in itself. There they are, Cuero ISD. Oh, so go to their YouTube channel. They'll be putting it on there as well. So if you want to catch that one on Friday night, I think it is.
I need to start picking out what games and what times they're playing so I know when to log in.
They're all at the same time, dude.
Really?
Yeah, they're all at like 7:30. There's no Saturday games.
That's one thing I like about Texan Live. I've watched Texan Live the last couple of years is you could go back and watch the game. So I would just not look at my phone or check in on anything, and I would watch all the games I wanted to watch just at different times, and it wouldn't spoil it for you.
Yeah, but dude, those guys are worse than YouTube, man. You can only log in one time. You can only log in on one device.
Texan Live,
yeah, that's kind of crappy. But hey, there you go, Cody.
I want to.
Oh man, that's it. Flower Bluff, man. Let's go. Bring it home, boys. Bring it home. So the next game we've got, I guess we'll jump down a division yet. We'll save the home game for last, just like you said. So Calallen and Bernie, number 2 versus number 3. We've seen both these teams, right, a couple times this year.
Yes.
I saw Bernie against Somerset. You saw Bernie against GP. And I didn't watch any of their games, any of their televised games. So, I mean, that's essentially their sample size for me. So it was late in the season. Mutual opponents in Flower Bluff, right?
Yes.
And Somerset. The big difference I got there is and it was week 1, right? Was it week 1 where Flower Bluff played Bernie?
Yeah, week 1. They almost beat him. 33-30.
They almost beat him. Yeah, it was very close. It was an interception late in the game that I think closed it out for, if I remember right, that was a long time ago, 14 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was an interception, I believe.
Yeah, a big interception that closed it out at the end.
In Bernie.
Yeah, in Bernie. Right. So, and then Calallen blows out Flower Bluff. Right. But still a young team. I mean, I don't know how to gauge it. There's a lot of weapons on that Bernie offense, man. There's a lot. The Hendricks kid at wide receiver, the Blaze kid at wide receiver and at quarterback. They've got a very stout offensive line. The only thing that I haven't seen them is run, other than with Jackson. I have not seen the running game. I guess when I saw them at Somerset, they didn't really put up a lot of running yards, but you know, the chatter after that game is they've lost their starter, their stud. I don't know if he's back yet or if that was the case. If any of you guys know that, share that information with us. But I mean, right now, you know, I have to, I'm going to call it early. I have to go with Calallen, man, just because the defense, I think the defense is what's going to make the difference. Coach Campbell is probably one of the best defensive coordinators in the game right now. He knows how to make these adjustments. I'm pretty sure he's been watching film for the last couple of weeks, not just this week, you know, and I think they're going to do what they need to do defensively to take care of what they need to take care of. I think the running back by committee that Calallen is using right now is working very well in their favor. Even these little dump off passes they have that's kind of substituting for their running game is helping out in a big way. You know, I hate to say it, but I mean, I really, I guess hate to say it's a bad way, but man, I can only imagine what they'd look like if Epi hadn't gotten hurt, to where they had that number 1 runner to rely on along with this passing game that they've developed. Man, they'd be very dangerous right now.
Yeah. Well, you know, honestly though, as much as it sucks to see Epi go down on a senior year like that, but I think it's kind of forced them to use some of the things that you know, I think that's made them so tough to beat lately. It's made, you know, Skyler and a couple other kids have to step up in a big way offensively. They've passed the ball a lot more frequently than they probably would have had Epi been in these games, which I think helps them out for this situation because, there's times they probably would have went immediately back to the wing tee or just started pounding away with Epi, especially against like some of the Lafayettias and teams like that. And, when the games are their way up, whereas and now they've had opportunities to work on the shotgun and they've found new ways to run out of the shotgun. And, it's honestly, for Bryce, that was probably huge because it put a little more on his plate. But at the same time, we've seen Bryce just blossom in this role.
Yep.
And, they've used, Luke Medina? They've used him really well. They get him the ball in space. Skylar, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, he's done a really good job at receiver.
Blaine Lamb's done an outstanding job.
Lamb's done an outstanding job. He went down, if I'm correct, right?
2 weeks ago.
But he's back.
But he's back. He came back last week. I didn't hear a whole lot from him in last week's game, but he is back as far as I know.
So, I think that's beneficial to him because this is the point in time where, when Cal Allen gets this deep, they start playing with teams with some speed, right? Speed and size. And that's always been this round or the round before last and even the upcoming round when they have made it that far. So it gets them, right? They get down to teams that have finesse. They get down to the teams that are airing it out, moving the ball. They have size and speed to contain that slot tee or that wing tee a little bit more. And it's made those games for Cal Allen much more harder, and that's why you've seen Cal Allen. Usually this is normally where Cal Allen kind of starts to kind of sputter out. But now you got this offense, that Cal Allen's employed this year. They're running the ball out of it. They're throwing out of the shotgun. They're moving it well. So, I think that kind of gives them a little bit of a not advantage, but I think it evens the playing field up because, we know Bernie is. They're going to air it out. Jackson Blaze is probably the best quarterback year to date they're going to see. So far, I think. He's a big kid. He's mobile. He's got a hell of an arm. He's made a lot of great decisions with the ball throughout the year. And then, of course, he's got a slew of weapons. So, Bernie brings size. Their offensive line's good. So I think, the big thing here is to keep the eye on is going to be the offensive line, defensive line for Cal Allen. How are they going to hold up against these big boys from that area? Where we saw GP falter to him, and that ultimately killed us. I think if Cal Allen's offensive line can step up to the challenge and the defensive line can step up to the challenge and get some pressure on Bays, kind of contain him a little bit because he's dangerous. You get them in a 3rd and long, he's gonna move that ball with his feet if he has to. He's not scared of taking a run. I've seen him do it multiple times. So, to me, that'd be the keys of emphasis, right? Containing Bays, offensive line, defensive line holding up, and then Cal Allen capitalizing on mistakes. If they can do that, I think, given the pedigree of the program and the kids that play in that program, and of course, underneath Coach Campbell and his coaching staff, I think they have a good chance of beating Bernie. So, like I said, I'm rolling with Cal Allen. I think it's going to be a really good matchup, though. I think this game could get around like 35 plus on both sides, maybe 28, 35. So, somewhere in that range, 28 to 42 is probably where I'm going to mark it. And I think it's going to be within a one score. Could be like last couple minutes of the game type situation. So I think if you can go, this is a really good one to go. And even if you're not a fan of Cal Allen, just go and support the local area because that should be a pretty good game.
The biggest thing I think Cal Allen has to do, and it's been their kind of their issue all year is penalties on the offensive line. They have to play a clean game up front and stop making those little mistakes that they've been making because this is what you talk about, right? You can't make those mistakes against a good team, right? They can't afford to make those little mistakes and turn a 3rd and 2 into a 3rd and long, because you're going to get those 3rd and 2s, but it's those little things that they've got to clean up and they've got to play their cleanest game that they've played this week, to be successful.
Oh, from here on out, you have to play clean or you're going home. You know what I mean? Too much talent on the field at this point. Too much talent.
So what I'd like to see, and we haven't seen much of it this year, is the old grind out the game Cal Allen offense. They've been scoring very fast this year. I haven't seen, well, I've been to 2 games. I haven't seen that drag out drive that they, those defense killers that they've put in. They're scoring very fast, which isn't a bad thing, right? But it doesn't give your defense a whole lot of rest because they're going to be, that secondary is going to be put to the test this week, 100%. Right? Just like against that Alice game, right? And Jerry said their their secondary's been very good this year, and they have, considering how Cal Allen's secondary's been in the past few years, right? That's been their knock, right? The last couple of years since we've been doing this show, right? Is that their secondary isn't that great. They got chewed up a little bit last week. Enough so they got a very big talking to on the sidelines and at halftime, and kind of flipped the switch coming out that second half, which is a staple of what Coach Campbell does, right?
Big time. It's the biggest thing. He's one of the best adjusters in this area, if not the state.
Yep. That's right, Christy. They are airing the game on KSAT 12. They've got an app, Big Game Coverage app. It is free to sign up. You don't have to do anything, and it's an app. You can watch it on your phone. You can watch it on your TV if you've got the Big Game Coverage app on your TV. So you will be able to see that one for free as well. Again, 7:00 Friday night. At the Rock Pile. Dude, I have not been to a playoff game at the Rock Pile yet. So again, I miss another one.
Have you still not been, like, in general?
Dude, I have not been. So when I was living in San Antonio, I really didn't. I wasn't following high school football a whole lot. I lived at Judson. Wagner had just opened. I lived in the Judson district, and we went to one game. And I don't know if I've ever told you this story. The intern was like got stung by a bee. So we didn't even stay the whole game. We had to leave. We walked him down to the little ambulance there to check him out, make sure he wasn't going to have an allergic reaction. And we left. I think we even left before the first. I couldn't even tell you who they played.
That was Judson, though?
Yeah, that was at Judson. Yeah. So I and now I look back and I regret it because there's a lot of big games that San Antonio alrea's got. I mean,
tons.
I think it was the Chili Bowl, which they don't have anymore because Fox Tex is closed now. That was one of their big games that they had there. Then the Gucci Bowl. Just all the games they had out there that I just kind of slept on, didn't really pay attention to it. But so download that app if you want to watch it. That one I don't think it's I don't think it's like limited to how many screens you can watch at a time under an account. So download it. It's on the App Store. Yeah. I think, what game did I watch on that one? I think I watched the Pleasanton game on that one. Pleasanton and yeah. It's just like it's a Roku thing or whatever. So yeah.
Sweet.
There you go. Norberto, how you doing, buddy? How's El Paso treating you? Callan still Callan. This game will come down to who makes the least mistakes. I've seen both. What's interesting is that the Greyhounds are 13-0 for the first. Yeah, that is surprising. That Bernie's 13-0 for the first time in program history. And
yeah, I would have figured that'd be something they'd done before.
Yeah, considering what they've done. But I thought that was a pretty interesting stat there. So we'll see, man. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna go with Cal Allen. It's local. I want to be able to sleep in my house. And I really do think they have a shot. I think they have a shot. I think they have a real good chance of winning this game. I'm not going to give a score though, but I don't think it's going to be a barn burner. I think it's going to be a close one. I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't get over 30. To tell you the truth, but
I don't know.
Stranger things have happened.
Right? Cal Allen did.
Yeah, it did. It did. What do you got next? What do you want to talk about next? Well, we got one. Right?
It's Refugio, right?
Dude, the surprise in that one was where it's being played.
Oh, yeah. I think that just goes to show you how there's not a lot of love between these coaches.
But is it also a capacity thing as well?
I don't know. I heard that
look it up.
They both just weren't agreeing on Victoria at all. And I'm not sure what the whole issue was on why they wouldn't play Victoria. I've heard some people say it was facilities and different things like that. But, honestly, they picked a pretty cool stadium to go to. San Marcos, the Rattler Stadium, is pretty tight.
Yeah.
So they did last couple of years. It looks really good.
So let's see. What do we got here?
Oh, there you go.
Oh, wrong school. Oh, there we go. Wow, Toyota Rattler Stadium. Look at that.
It's nice now, dude.
81-82 is what it holds. And I think that's a lot bigger than Victoria's, right? 81-82. Let's go. Victoria Memorial. Victoria's bigger.
Is it?
10,000.
Well, Tiffany right there is talking about it. The stadium is 4,000 less from Victoria. Only hold 8,000 fans both sides. Well, I don't know. I wish we could get the inside scoop on what the discrepancy was. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because it's not Tiffany, about just like you said, about 4,000 less. Yeah, it holds about 2,000 is what it comes out to. Victoria holds almost 11,000, and San Marcos holds 8, a little over 8. So obviously it's not a capacity thing, right? And it's normally when you get this deep in the playoffs, you want your kids to play somewhere they've never played before, a nice stadium. I mean,
could be it.
I don't know, dude. I mean,
it's nice. Have you been by it lately?
No, dude. I go out there all the time, but I just haven't been in the stadium. Haven't had a reason to go out there.
It's nice, dude. Joe, that's a good comparison to Major Bowden right there. Bryce Burnett, that's a very good comparison, actually. Major was a heck of a football player for China Spring last year, and that's a really good likeness comparison right there.
Played quarter and semifinals, Wayne State at Rattlers. That was a long time ago, Billy. I think Billy's running this thing right now. 2016, Refugio played both as a quarter and semifinals before Wayne State at Rattlers. Is that where they played for state? 2016, or are you just saying they played at Rattler Stadium?
Yeah, before.
So maybe Billy can give us some insight on what happened there, Billy or Ryan, whoever's running that. I mean, what gives with the location? Just because it's familiar territory, they couldn't agree something, or who won the toss?
Kung Fu Billy's been scouting Shiner all week.
So it is a repeat, right? That's 2 weeks in a row that Refugio has played a district opponent in the playoffs. Dude, it was 3 out of 4 teams last week that were from the same district in the playoffs. Right? It was Ganado, Shiner, and Refugio. Right? So pretty good. That was pretty tough district, right, for Region 4.
Yeah. No, that was a good district. And actually Ganado kind of kept it close for a little bit there before beat the doors off him. Looking at this game, I think I'm going to Refugio here, but don't take this as a cakewalk game. Just because you beat them once, it's always hard to beat them a second time. And
dude, yeah,
I think a lot of people need to go back and realize too in that Shiner Refugio game. Yeah, the score at the end was a little busted open, but Refugio was a 4th down conversion away from not winning that game, and that game going completely opposite on them and getting a couple scores blown in on them. So I think these two teams are extremely, extremely equally matched. You're obviously going to have to keep the tabs on Dalton Brooks because he's a D1 football player for a reason. He's a game changer.
Yep.
And he's going to touch the ball a lot, and he's going to be on the defense and making plays. So, I trust Coach Aaron here. He literally is preparing for Shiner the day after this game for next year, right? So I think he's got a lot in his sleeves for this game. I think this has been a big part of him. He obviously he's a competitor, hates to lose. So anytime he goes out on an L like he did last year, especially to Shiner, I guarantee you he's going to lose sleep over it. So I think, for him winning that first game with Shiner was good, but I would also say he didn't show Shiner everything he's got, right? And I would probably say vice versa. I don't think Shiner's probably showed everything they got. So I think you're going to see a similar matchup. I think you're going to see a couple more fireworks as well out of these games, and it's going to be competitive from start to finish. I think, and it can go either way. I'm obviously going Refugio here, but this game could go either way just based off of the talent that Shiner brings.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw that. So it's Ryan running the Refugio Sport Network. Kids were slipping a lot, including the Shiner kids. Heron isn't going to play there after last year. Wow. And that's that was the big knock on Victoria. Victoria didn't host a lot of playoff games because the stadium hadn't been upgraded in forever. There's issues with the locker room. The turf was very bad, and so they hadn't hosted any. And then they worked that deal with Frost Bank, who essentially paid for the field for their naming rights. That's why they've got the big Frost logo at the 50-yard line. So there it is, right? Interesting.
Well, they got new turf this year.
Well, they got it last year, 2 years ago, I think, where they worked out that deal with Frost Bank because it was old turf, man. It was in pretty bad shape. That's why, like I said,
I played on that turf. That's like it was like kind of the very beginning stages of the new style turf. You know what I mean? All the black beads everywhere, and it was noticeable that it was different than the turf that I've stepped on at some of these newer stadiums. So yeah, hey, whatever. Coach Aaron's a different breed, right? So I could definitely see him just saying we're not playing there based off of what happened last year.
Yeah. So they're rolling out the red carpet on this one. I don't think this one is getting a free stream because the district does not have a
no
they do not have a sports information department. So it's not getting streamed for free. That was the big topic today, just like I said, right? A lot of guys, Refugio Sports Network, Taft Greyhound Network, and Real Sports Live, they've gotten shut out of a lot of their free broadcasts because of they're not affiliated directly with the school district.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is what it is, right? And oh well. See you oh man, all right. Well, we'll see you out there. Man. So, as far as this game, I don't see why Refugio can't win this game again. You know, it is tough. It is tough. I mean, it saw it with GP last year. GP won the regular season game with Flower Bluff and lost it in the region finals to Flower Bluff. And then a few years ago, you saw the same thing with Vets and Miller, right? Miller won that regular season game in overtime and then lost in the playoffs, right? So,
yeah.
I haven't seen a whole lot of the repeat wins this season, the last couple of years, actually, except Refugio last week, right? They beat Hidalgo again. But it did, just like you said, it started a little shaky. It was 12-0 at the half. And then they just kind of opened it up again. And yeah, so this game, the first go round, did you go to that game or did you see it on TV?
Watched it on TV.
Yeah, so Easy
watched
busted
on the
that 92
Sports Network.
Yeah, it was like 4th and 5 or 4th and 7, right? And they go for it inside their 20. And Easy breaks off a 90-something yard touchdown run. And that was kind of the spark for the offense, right? After that, it was kind of downhill for that offense and downhill for Shiner.
They kind of fumbled the bag a little bit there towards the very end of that game. But like I said, man, they for a little bit there, they were applying some serious pressure. And it was a huge 4th and 1 at their like 15-yard line or whatever it was, and they just busted off a big touchdown. I mean, that was massive, and he almost got waxed in the backfield. The kid from Shiner missed him. He got right out from underneath that tackle. So you know that's one little grain right to that game. So I think it's gonna be a good one. I think I'm going Refugio here, but it's gonna be a tough one. It's not gonna be a cakewalk.
Yeah, just because I mean, call us homers, call us whatever you want, but I mean, it's our area, man, right? So I'm gonna go with the Bobcats again as well,
for sure.
Hang on, I'm sending something to myself so I can pull up here on the screen here a little bit. All right. So that brings us to our, I guess if we were having games of the week, our game of the week, right? Because that's the one we're going to be at.
Big one. Well, they're all big, but
Corpus Christi Veterans and PSGA North. So I have not seen North in person. You did a couple weeks ago against Miller.
Yes.
I kind of halfway saw their game against Brownsville Vets. I saw where it was close, and then after that, it kind of broke it open, finished with that 35-15 score. When I left it last, it was 14-6, I think, or 14-7. PSGA North at the half over those guys, and they just kind of opened it up in the second half. Bully ball, right? That's what everybody's calling it right
bully
now.
Ball,
I mean, they are playing bully ball, and you know, if you read some of these comments everywhere, you know, they're saying that these North kids are taking cheap shots, but they're just playing aggressive football, man. They're going hard between the whistles, and it is what it is.
It's not really cheap shots, man. They're playing intimidation football, and man, it's bully ball, right? Like they're coming at you downhill. They run the slot T as well. They have my big thing for them is I think they have a really good offensive line. It's a good, nasty,
they have a very good offensive line.
And you know, quite frankly, yeah, they get in your face. They let you know that they're blocking you. They let you know that they're hitting you. I mean, that's part of football. And I would take that every single time because you know what? After a while, you're a defensive guy, you're tired of getting waxed. You're tired of getting beat on. You're tired of this dude hitting you and then sitting there and talking. I mean, just anything, right? Just any little thing, right? I mean, like Jalen Ramsey, he's an NFL. He's a cornerback. He says like, now this is other NFL receivers that will tell you throughout the entire game. He will tell them the randomest stuff like your shoes are ugly, shoes are tied different, like shoes untied, like just little things, just constantly just pick at somebody, right? So imagine just getting constantly hit by this big dude, and he's just saying little things to you. He stares at you, right? I mean, it's little things like that that give you an edge, and that's what PSGA does. And you know, quite frankly, it's part of football. And hey, I mean, it's got them this far. Ali Aparicio is a heck of a quarterback. He runs that system really well. I think this is going to be a tough game. I told you last week when it was matching up, I was looking forward to seeing this offensive line from PSJ versus this defensive line from Vets. Because this defensive line from Vets, they have some rotational pieces. They're not the biggest dudes in the world, but they're all athletic dudes. So I think it's a good matchup when you look at it from the side.
Keep going. I'm doing something. Keep going.
That's really all I had, dude. I mean, I can't.
I mean, so Vets is
halfway through, and
Vets again. They started a little slow last week against that McAllen team. They kept them in that game for a little bit, but dude, again, they took it over, man. Andrew, no, and that's what I was going to bring up. And well, I'm glad you said that. No, the game is not sold out. So I saw somebody post earlier about this game that it's sold out, and so I pulled up the link for tickets right now, and I'll actually share my screen with you right now just so you guys could see what's available. Here we go. Can you see that? Is it up? Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's up.
Okay. So everything in red and blue still available, right? So west is the home side, east is the visitor side. So you still got general admission here, and then student general admission here. And then you still got a couple reserved seats left here on the home side. And then general admission. Bands are going to be moved to the end zone. So there should be plenty of seating. I will say that the reserve seating section, you've just got onesies kind of all by themselves scattered everywhere. So you can pick a reserve seat if you want to get a reserve seat. Just don't expect to have your buddy sit with you because I don't think that's going to happen. Same thing in section D. They've got a couple onesies.
Which side is not sold out on the middle part? Is the Valley side sold out?
In the middle part, yes. That's the visitor side.
Woo! Bringing the whole Valley with it.
So, yeah, and then you got – well, see, this says band and drill team, but from what I heard, they were moving the band to the end zones. So we'll see. I guess we'll see when we get there. But right now, I mean, if you click on the link here, there you go. Look, tickets still available. So if you guys want tickets, they're there. Maybe things will change come closer to game time.
Yeah, but, Friday, Saturday, people probably start figuring out if they can actually go and whatnot. So I think y'all people just kind of show up and try to meander in with general admission. I think it's gonna be a pretty live little crowd. I'm expecting the Valley to bring a lot of people. I do too. Don't want to be disappointed in that. I really don't.
But that's their big thing, right? So this is their first time since 2014. The Valley as a whole since 2003 to potentially get to the region finals, or actually to the semis, the state semis. Port Isabel was the last Valley team that did that, the 03 team. And before that, I think it was the 99 Edinburgh North team. And then, before that, it was probably the 94 Port Isabel team that our guy Ken Martin played on. They lost to Sealy that year. And I think Sealy ended up winning state that year.
Wow.
So yeah. And you know how the Valley is, man. They find a team. I mean, it might as well be one high school in the Valley at this point, and they're all fans of that high school. Just because, dude, it's big. I mean, we've talked about it 100 times, right? How good that crowd is, man. We've experienced it, right? So, man, I'd like to see it here, man. I hope you guys bring some tailgate stuff here. That'd be pretty cool.
2011, they got knocked out by the boy Green from San Antonio Madison. Played at TCU. Went to Nebraska and played at TCU. Gosh. Same time Malcolm Brown was at Cibolo.
Was it that same time?
Yeah, Malcolm was at Cibolo, and gosh, what was his name? Green. What was his first name? Man, I'm drawing blank. But anyways, yeah, that was the Harlingen team that get knocked out by that San Antonio Madison team. God, that's gonna drive me crazy. Honestly,
so I want to share something with y'all that I've seen pop up lately. I think it's actually Aaron Green. There you go.
Aaron Green.
Who made this? All right. Who made this?
Okay, I've got it. All right. Okay, I've got it. All right.
There you go.
So is it like that? I mean, dude, I thought it was hilarious, dude. Dude down in the valley made that Coyote NA is his TikTok, but that's been making the rounds. That got sent to me, and then it popped up on our feed one day just as like for you on there. I was like, oh, I thought that was hilarious, dude. But I don't know. Do you expect something? Do you expect that? Do you expect to see the same kind of defensive performance from the Raiders? We've talked about their offense. We haven't talked about their defense.
I think this game is going to be a big defensive battle, honestly, because I think that's the strong point for Vets' team is the defense, right? Yep. I think the defensive linebacking core is really the strong point, and they have a really good defensive coordinator as well. They're playing with a lot of emotion. That always gives you an extra little bump. But at the same time, PSJ is doing the same thing. I mean, this is two storms colliding, essentially, is what you got here. And this is going to be a good football game. I'm Coastal Bend versus everybody, right? I'm rolling with Vets. I'm taking
it's RGV, and if you're down there, it's RGV over everybody as well.
Yeah. So Coastal Bend versus RGV in this one. Would I be shocked if PSJ won? Heck no, not at all. Not after what I've seen them do. Right? They're a good ball club. Also, wouldn't be shocked to see our Vets win. So I think this is going to be a extremely tight game. And it's going to be a big-time defensive battle. So I think this is something that, offensive line versus defense line is going to be a huge, 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 huge one. My one concern for me, though, with PSJ is haven't really seen them have success throwing the ball a lot. I know they've thrown the ball down there in the valley, but they haven't really thrown it up a lot up here.
Right? They threw very well last week against a Brownsville Vets. They did throw very well. Yeah.
I'd like to see how they throw against the secondary here, right, and against with this D-line. So that'll be an interesting little, I think just a little battle to watch as well as this game unfolds. But it's going to be a close one. It's going to be a tight game. Vets is going to have to play extremely good football if they want to come out of this game with a W.
Elijah's going to have to play just like he played a couple weeks ago. Very, very smart game like he did against Vela. And that's their mutual opponent, right? And they were both one-touchdown games for both of them, right? PS North beat them by a touchdown, and our Vets beat them by a touchdown. So – I could, just like you said, man, would I be surprised if PSJ and North won? No, I wouldn't. Do I think they're going to win? Let me get back to you on that. Let me think about that a little more. I've had a lot of time to think about it, and I go back and forth, man.
It's a tight game, dude. It's a lot tighter game.
Yeah. I mean, it could be a 3-point game. Could be a 7-point game. It could be a blowout, dude. You never know. The weather should be good this Friday. There shouldn't be any weather concerns. Wow. Okay, so who do you think is better, Vets or Miller? I did see Vets score 21 points in the fourth quarter. Did Vets turn up, or did Miller? Oh man. So, Andrew, it depends who you ask on how that game unfolded. We saw some things. Other people saw some things. I'm not going to say that they some questionable decisions made, right? We'll just leave it at that, right? There's some interesting decisions that were made. Javi, where can you watch this game? At Buck Stadium. You can watch this game at Buck Stadium. So now that you say that, and we've kind of hit on it a little bit, streaming is killing playoff football.
Fortunately, it is.
All these games that we've gone to, and like it's a whole bunch of the playoff games that should be packed have been empty, man. That Vets Vela game, empty. Because, and I get it, the weather wasn't that great. If you're not going to go, you're not going to go. But especially if the option to stream it is there. But dude, okay, I get it during COVID, right? And that's where essentially this started from, right? COVID, the big streaming things. Real Sports Live was doing it for a while. Right, Texas Live was doing it during playoffs, but Real Sports Live was doing it. But man, these playoff games are when these games are available for free, it's killing the game day atmosphere. I hope this game is crowded. Before, I mean, they even televised that Vets Miller game in the playoffs, and it was still packed.
Still packed,
right? And that was free. It was Channel 6. I'm just not a fan of I was at a time, but man, it takes away from the game day atmosphere. You've seen it at these games that we go to. I don't know how it was at Miller PSGA, but I guess
it was a pretty good crowd. I mean, it was a good crowd, but I'd expected a little more. But yeah, I mean, I think I told you last week. I think I'm tired of streaming it, and I'm someone that uses it because of the work schedule we have. But
yeah.
it is killing a little bit of the game day atmosphere, especially come playoff time. And I want to see stadiums packed again and people driving and people getting excited and to cheer their teams on, right? Because that's part of the thing that makes Texas high school football so great is the towns and the communities getting around the team, right? So I kind of get it as well. Gas prices are high. That's probably one of the deterrent factors for some of these traveling trips. But
that is true.
I think a little bit, but so you tied the gas prices in with the fact that you can stream it, and that's what's going to cut down on the attendance. So hopefully we get back to getting more packed stands as we move. And I honestly wouldn't mind seeing some of this streaming stuff go away.
Wow, look at this! Flatonio's AD head football coach resigned.
Where'd that come from?
Dude, who knows? Mike Foreman just tweeted it. Dude, Dude, they've had one of their best seasons in their school history, and the guy just resigned. Whenever you get another job offer. Yeah, I guess so. Wow. RC Vets 361, loud and proud. F it. Vets, man. Vets is going to take it. Vets is going to take it. It's going to be a close one. Defense is going to be the difference, man. Just like last. So we talked about this, man. Man, Andrew, I haven't seen them. I have not seen them physically in person, and I kind of watched it in and out. Justin would be the one to ask about that. And so he's asking, what do you think about the linebacking core from North?
Oh, I think they're solid. I think North has a really good defense. I told a lot of people that I was not really shocked, but I was more impressed, right? When I watched them play Miller. It was just the style of ball they were playing, man. It was aggressive. They were hitting you in the mouth. They were letting you know about it. I mean, the first touchdown of the game when Ollie stared down the Miller linebacker to let him know, hey, man, we're here, right? That set the tone for the game, and the rest of the team kind of followed suit with it. So the offensive line, defensive line, they're nasty. I think the linebacking core falls right in line with them. I think they got a really good front seven. To me, they got a really good front seven. The question mark was a little bit in the secondary, but I think they've done a pretty good job of covering it up. They covered Miller up pretty good, even though Barney. They kind of had a 12th man defender out there, right, with the elements, but still, I think the front seven is very stout for for PSJ North for sure.
Yeah, both do. So it is going to be a defensive game, man. It's just going to be. I think we're going to see you Valley folks. You're going to see a repeat of probably the PSJ, the North and Vela game. And we're going to see a repeat of that Vets Vela game. I think that's what it's going to be. It's going to be who can make their plays. Vela had their chance to win that game. A lot of drop balls, inopportune penalties at the wrong minute, at the wrong time, turnovers, punts, mishandling punts, things like that. That's the little things that's going to make the difference in this game. And to answer your question, Joseph, we both have vets. And like I said, you can call us homers, call us what you will, but
oh yeah, I mean come on, man. Coastal Bends. We're going Coastal members, everyone here. But that's no disrespect to PSJ. I think PSJ is an extremely good team.
No, and just we both think they can win, and we wouldn't be surprised if they pull a win out, or if they do win, or if they dominate the game. We would not be surprised. We said this when we saw realignment. Right. If you want to go back that far, if you've been following us that long, when the realignments came out, we did a show, and this is the first thing we saw is we actually thought we'd see the two Valley teams in the region finals. We thought we'd see Vela and North in the finals. North or Vela lost Chase Campbell last year, but I mean they still played balls out, this season.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's not going to be a surprise, man, if they win. But I think Vets will pull it off. I think they've been playing that way all season, right? The games they're expected to lose, they win, right? They weren't expected to win that Miller game. To go back to what you were asking, they weren't expected to win that game. They were the heavy underdog in that game, and they found a way to win. They found a way to win, and that's what it's about at this point, right?
I think really since that game they've trended up.
Yeah.
Just in the play overall in general, they've trended up. They've been much better than what they were at the beginning of the season.
And I think the losses have actually helped Vets. this year, right? Because they've had to bounce back. They've had to come back from a loss. That's those kind of things you're kind of wary about with these undefeated teams, right? You like to see them lose somewhere. But man, we'll see. What I'd like to see, I mean, in the future is the same thing we've talked about with our guys. Some of these Valley schools and Manny Gomez did this a lot. Schedule your non-district games out of the area, out of South Texas. There was times when they were going to Midland to go play games, or Odessa or to San Antonio to play preseason games. The Cardinals were. I'd like to see more of that from these guys, because that's who you're going to play once you get past these rounds, right? Once you get past the Corpus Christi area, San Antonio area, you're going to see these more physical big teams that have the genealogy that make the difference, right? So, man, until then, I mean, right now I'm going to go with Vets, man. They've had their back against the wall. They've lost a couple ball games. They've bounced back from them. They know what it takes to come back from a loss. I think North has been challenged once this year so far, and that was against Vela. Other than that, they've done what they were supposed to do. Good and bad, right? That's good and bad. It depends which way you're going to look at it.
Yeah.
But those are my thoughts. And I probably just rambled for a good 10 minutes, but
I mean, that's fair. That's a good assessment of it. I mean, that's pretty spot on. I really got nothing to add to that. You know what I mean? On this game, it's just a big deal at this point.
We'll just see what happens Saturday, man. I haven't seen any places where it's going to be streamed. I'm guessing it's going to be on Texan Live, right? I mean, it's a big game. Everybody's got eyes on it. Matt Stepp from Dave Campbell's Texas Football is going to be here at this game.
It's either on NFHS or Texan Live, but I'm a little surprised that the local news station didn't pick it up. They picked these up in the past before when Vets played this game. They picked this game up whenever it was Wagner versus Vets, and the same thing like 4 years ago.
Yeah. So, man, that's all I got, dude. I really don't have a whole lot. I mean, just can't wait till Saturday, man. That's really it. So we'll be rolling in kind of late. We're working that Saturday, so we'll be rolling out right after work, and then heading there. Still got Sunday to work after that, so hopefully we'll go back in a good mood, right? No, Robert, you're right, man. We just went on that whole thing, right? It takes away from the atmosphere, So yeah, it is what it is. Bud, you got anything else? You guys got anything else y'all want to talk about before we get out of here? This is probably we're at 58 minutes, and this is one of the shortest shows we've done in a while.
Yeah, it's been a while since they've done one underneath an hour.
Yeah.
Not much, dude. Raiders versus everyone.
Yeah, and I saw that, Andrew. I saw somebody post RGV versus everyone, which is true, right? I mean, nobody counts the.
Is Andrew team? Is this a parent? What is it?
I don't know, but that looks like a
memorial. Right?
Looks like a memorial uniform, like a McAllen uniform. Is that right, Andrew? That's what it looks like.
I can't tell.
There was a time when it was called, when I was in San Antonio, it was when they played the San Antonio teams in the Valley. It was Valley Week, and it wasn't WEEK, it was WEAK. And that was the big knock, right? Oh, it's Valley Week. It's Valley Week. And, I lived in the Valley. I played for Harlingen. I get it, dude. You have this chip on your shoulder coming from down there because you want that respect. And the Coastal Bend's the same way. People count the Coastal Bend out almost right away, right? And I get it, right? But you can't help where you play. You can't. It's just what it is. No. Oh, there you go. He's on the team.
There you go. See, I couldn't tell.
Yeah, see, it looks blue in that picture. The pants look blue. But we'll see you on the sidelines, Andrew, because we'll be on the field. Yeah, we got you, Robert. We got you. We know. But yeah, that's all we got, guys. Thanks for tuning in this week. And man, maybe we got a couple more shows left. We got 4 teams. I mean, we've got to get at least one that goes by, right? We've got to get at least one by. But guys, again, thanks for watching. And if you guys see us Saturday, give us a shout out, man. Hey, Gabe will be there. There's that guy. I haven't seen him in a while. If you see us, stay high, man. We may have a few stickers or something left, and we'll talk some ball. Until then, we will see you guys later.